Hey there, my name is Liam with the company Yard Dawgs. Today's video we're going to be talking about probably one of the most important things for your business, software. All right, if you're going to ever scale your company, like even if you're just getting started out, you need a software now. If you're at $1 million, there's no way on earth that you would ever get to $1 million if you didn't have a software and you're using Excel spreadsheets or sticky notes. So there's a lot of different softwares out there. There's a lot of good ones, some bad ones. We've went through a lot over our period of time, and I'd say too, like for different stages of your business, you should be using kind of different softwares. So if you're just getting started, like you have 0 customers or maybe 10 or 20 or 30, and you sort of fall into like that 0 to 100K of revenue, I'd highly recommend the software called Yardbooks. So Yardbooks is it's a free software, by the way. They do have like some sort of paid versions as well, but even the paid versions are like $20 a month, $30 a month, like pretty much nothing for what you get, right? So Yardbooks, it's great. You have the credit cards on file, you have all the customers' info, you can schedule jobs, you can optimize your routes. Like it puts everything all into like one great CRM for you. So 0 to 100K would be for Yardbooks. So I highly recommend it. I'll link to that in the description as well here, but Yardbooks, we used it. They have an app for like on your phone. I believe they have a customer login. They can like link to like your website, but it can do a lot of things. Like it can do the like landscaping estimates, credit cards on file, billing, overdue invoices, routing. It's actually pretty amazing what it can do for just being like a free software. So Yardbooks, from 0 to 100 grand is what I recommend, just to get going. But as per usual, I've said this a million times, no spreadsheets, no sticky notes. It's always got to be like on software. So that's what I'd recommend for that one. And then, let's see. The limitations though with like Yardbooks, in my opinion though, is just kind of like, it's hard to explain, but it's just more of just like, it's hard to really keep everything centralized, right? Like all the emails wouldn't be logging, the calls wouldn't be logging. If you were trying to upsell people, advanced scheduling for the technicians, right? Like if you're trying to, like for example, like our software right now, we have iPads for the technicians that goes from our software to the iPads. Yardbooks would be able to do that. You would have to print it out on pieces of paper, give it to the technicians, and then you would have to post the production afterwards manually. So there are like some like limitations, but if you're 1, 2, maybe 3 trucks, Yardbooks honestly for the price is a steal. It's great, and I'm super happy with the software. My brother actually uses it for like his lawn mowing business of like maybe 100 customers. Loves it. He's like, Liam, you should be using Yardbooks. Like he loves it like that much. All right, so now we're gonna go from 100K. Oh, can't write today. All right, 100K to about 500K. This one right here, I'd recommend probably Jobber. So Jobber, they're a Canadian company. They're just 3 hours away. They're up in Edmonton. They're pretty good. Like they're not great. They're a bit more expensive. Like they're probably $200-300 a month. But they have some like pretty cool automations. Like that's something that like Yardbooks would never have. So like by automations, I mean like estimate follow-ups. So if you send the estimate, they don't get back to you, they will send it out again for you automatically. So if you're trying to really grow your business to 500 grand, I'd say Jobber's a really good solid option. It's affordable. Credit cards on file. They do the scheduling like on the iPads where you can route the jobs and it'll go to the iPads for you. So Jobber, I give it a really good solid score for if you're between 100 grand to 500 grand. Limitations on Jobber, it's impossible for a business like ours to use. We're in the fertilizer weed control business, to route programs, to route packages, to make sure that you're not applying fertilizer like too near in between, like 2 days in between, for example. So Jobber would be impossible for that. So Jobber does not work for us. They're not really good with like upselling or leaving notes like for the profile. There is a lot of like limitations with the Jobber, but overall though, I'd give them a pretty good solid score for 100 grand to 500 grand, and it's pretty affordable. I think it starts around 100 to $200 a month. So like that size of business, I think it's a really good good mark. And then if you're getting serious, right? If you're gonna go, I'll call serious being over $500,000. Right, like that's when you have a legit operation, you're gonna have, hopefully like a manager, like employees are showing up, you're gonna have like a shop, you're gonna have like an office and all this. For this right here, there's a lot. There's a lot. There's I guess Service Autopilot comes to mind. That one's really good. you can do a lot of customizations with Service Autopilot. Like that's a great software. Like if you utilize Service Autopilot right, it's great. There's like pest routes. That one's really good too. That's more for pest control. You could use it for lawn care though. There's a big one called Service Titan. That one's really good too. That one's, I think they actually bought out some other company, but Service Titan right now is probably like the biggest player right now in the industry. This right here, you have all the metrics, like your production, production by technician, like hourly wage by technician, all that, like all these marketing reports. They have like these phone integrations, this marketing integration. Like Service Titan right now, they are absolutely killing it. They are, for lawn care, it's definitely a great choice for sure. There's ones like Real Green, for example, too. It's a lot more old school, the software. Like it looks like it's kind of still like in the 1970s, but it's a great software. Like they do a great job as well. But yeah, Service Autopilot, pest routes. This is probably my number one though, honestly. That's one that we use, for example. Pest routes is good too. Service Titan, really good. Real Green, really good, but really old. But this right here is anyone that's 500K plus should be looking into something like this. They shouldn't be using Jobber. They shouldn't be using Yard Books. They're just, at least when I was using them 2 or 3 years ago, just their automations, their setup was not meant for companies that are doing, over $1 million or even quite frankly over $500,000. So this right here is like what I recommend. If you're really getting serious, if you really want to grow it, if you are brand new and you want to take your business seriously, you want to just scale as fast as you can, I wouldn't recommend jumping around from softwares to softwares. I'd choose one of these 4 and then make it work. Make it work for like what you're going to do there. But yeah, these 4 softwares is what I recommend for bigger companies. So as per usual, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed these kind of videos about software and like how valuable they actually are, please just let me know and I'll point you in the right direction. So thank you guys so much and have a great day.